Hello, this is Marcus Antebi on my little private channel. I have an engineer that I work with for another show that we're recording called The Sherpa and the Schmuck. I'm making that show with my friend Ralph. And Brian has become a good friend of mine. We talk a lot about the things that we talk on the other program, which I thought would be better to do in a small segment just called The Schmuck and the Schmuck. And I'm the schmuck twice. So what we were talking about earlier with Brian is he was asking me to try to explain better how processed food and junk food could really affect his chemistry. He wasn't making the connection. And it's hard to make the connection if you're not a scientist, especially difficult if you've been eating junk food since the time you were born, because you don't have any reference point. You have nothing to say, well, I felt a lot better when I wasn't doing this or when I was doing it that way. What I have as experience, not being a doctor, I don't treat patients, is tens of thousands of interactions with customers at Juice Press. And I'm an analytical person. I ask a lot of questions and I get involved in people's lives. And of course, I'm customer number one. I look at myself. I understand the difference. I know how I feel when I overeat. I know what I feel like if I eat too late at night. I definitely remember all of my food relapses on the journey that I had to where I'm at right now, where I would go for long periods of time doing things the way I like to, and then I would have a setback. I would go eat 6 pieces of pizza. I know what that felt like for me, and I know what the effects would be like the days after. And I made a lot of notes, literally, in journals about writing about the effects of food. To keep it really simple is this. Most people crawl, they don't walk, out of their childhoods. They literally crawl as if they've been wounded and battered and hit by a bus. They're crawling to safety. The emotional problems that happen in our childhoods in the modern world, the last couple of 100 years, they're really tragic. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people. And certainly, I'm not a scientist of any degree to give you statistics, but anybody that would say that mankind is settled in and we're doing great would be ridiculous. There are a lot of reasons for our problems. And it's not all linked to diet, obviously. That's just a symptom. But I would say to anybody who is a high-functioning person that has an average amount of emotional problems, you're trying to figure out your life, you're trying to, figure out your girlfriend, you're trying to figure out your job, what's my relationship with money, who am I, what is my purpose? It's certainly a disadvantage if your chemistry is wearing you down. And you just don't remember that it's doing that because you've been doing it that way for so long. Your body needs a lot of rest and a lot of sleep from all the energy that you're exerting by living in a big city. And it's not just going to the gym or walking somewhere or staying up late. It's all the information that's being bombarded at you that actually detracts energy from your system. And you can ask that of people with cancer that are fighting that disease, that are very low. Their immune systems are very weak. They can't handle certain things, loud noises, negative music, the energy and vibration of certain people. We take it for granted because we're very tough, that how we handle all of the bombardment of our senses on a daily basis. Your body needs rest from that. That's where sleep comes in. That's where periodic fasting comes in. That's where going for a massage comes in. Even going to a movie, even though it's a lot of information, it's very flat. It's on a screen. You paid for it. It's entertaining. The superhero always wins. There's a good love story. There's nice music. It's entertainment in general that's supposed to relax you. If you're constantly bombarding your system with stimulating foods that don't really offer any nutritional value to them and perhaps very little calories, you're just making your organs work harder. You're depleting yourself of a variety of hormones. If you're constantly dumping adrenaline because you're sucking down Red Bull, you got to run out of it, and then you got to borrow from somewhere else. These things deplete your chemistry of things that it needs to function and be a happy person. Being happy requires a specific hormone to fire. There's chemistry involved in being awake, alert. There's chemistry involved in feeling compassion. There's chemistry involved in feeling joy. There's chemistry involved in letting the sound vibration of good music enter into your body and be translated into something good. if your chemistry is completely off because of the diet you're keeping, you're not keeping a hygienic diet. The diet is a mess. It's no different than if you were wearing dirty clothing, not bathing, had long fingernails, your teeth were stained, your breath is bad, your beard is matted, and you have flies following you. There's a problem in that. It takes a very long time to work through mental problems. They weren't created overnight. It's a lot of work. It's painful. It doesn't take that long to fix your diet. And you can get results very quickly. You could go from, say, feeling shitty all the time to feeling shitty half the time very quickly. And sometimes just getting that mechanical advantage gives you the boost you need to do more emotional, more direct work on yourself as a person. So your diet is everything to how you feel. And included in your diet, unfortunately, is cigarette smoking. Because cigarette smoking is definitely an ingestant.
It is.
You're taking it in through the lungs. The lungs are the digestive organ. They're passing on the chemistry into your chemistry, and you're picking it up, and it's affecting you. It's affecting you in the moment, and it affects you long term. So now the question is, how do you pick yourself up? I asked you this earlier today without trying to be judgmental. I said, do you think smoking is healthy? And what was your answer?
It is not.
Okay. So obviously I'm not your therapist, and I'm not a priest. I'm not a rabbi. We're communicating to an audience. So just for the purpose of entertainment, we would ask each other, well, if we don't think it's good for us, and we understand that we're addicted to it, what steps do we take? How do we break it down into easy, doable steps that we can eliminate that mistake? That's really the question. And I ask you, are you willing to let that go? Smoking. Would you be willing to let it go? Is it something that you entertain?
Yeah, I guess it's more of a habitual thing now. Sometimes I'll walk into a store after deciding that I'm not going to smoke anymore and just get a pack of cigarettes at the counter with whatever else I'm ordering. It's like, let me get a ham sandwich with cheddar on it.
Right.
And a pack
So
of Newport.
if you had to guess, what do you think you get from that experience? You're obviously getting something from it. Otherwise, you wouldn't spend. How much are cigarettes now a pack?
Oh, there's so much. I'm getting broke from it.
What are they,
That's
$15
about it.
now?
They're close to that. Yeah.
So what you
Depends
must
on
be
where you go.
getting something from that. On some level in your brain is telling you that you're getting something from the experience. What do you think you're getting from it?
There's some sort of stress reliever, I guess. When you feel like a ball of stress well up and you're just like, all right, I have to go. And
Right.
it's something else to focus on other than your issues.
So
I would imagine.
So let me
That's
try
why it
to
happens.
let me flesh that out with you. So we're not going to do that on this episode. We talked about something else. Let's record an episode just on cigarette smoke.
Okay.
All right, guys. Like my videos, follow me, subscribe to me, give me some love, and I'll give you love back. Thank you.